AITA for costing my company $60,000 and refusing to save the owner's genius nephew from himself? Original post, September 12. I, 34M, need to know if I completely fucked up my life or if I'm just being gaslit into oblivion. My hands are literally shaking while I type this because I'm sitting in my truck in the parking lot of the fabrication shop I've managed for 6 years, and I've just been escorted out by security like a criminal. For context, I work in high-end architectural metalwork. We make custom staircases, railings, and structural art for rich people and commercial lobbies. It's precision work. If you're off by 1/8 of an inch on a 3-story spiral staircase, the whole thing is scrap. I started on the floor as a welder and worked my way up to shop foreman. I know every machine, every welder, and every quirky piece of software in this building. The owner, Bob, has always been decent to me, mostly because I make him money and I keep the floor running smooth. Enter Caden, 23M. Caden is Bob's nephew. He has a degree in something vague like business administration and has never held a welding torch in his life. About 3 months ago, Bob hired Caden as a project manager. From day one, Caden has been a nightmare. He walks around in a pristine suit in a shop full of metal dust and grease, looking down his nose at the fabricators. He treats the guys like they're idiots because they don't speak corporate buzzword salad. But the real problem is that Caden thinks he understands CAD, computer-aided design. He doesn't. He knows just enough to open the files and move things around, but he doesn't understand material stress, bend allowances, or physics. I've spent the last 3 months quietly fixing his mistakes. He'd send down a drawing for a railing that defied gravity, and I'd go into the office, correct the engineering so it wouldn't collapse, and send it to the floor. I tried to talk to him about it twice. The first time, he laughed and said, "Thanks, but I think I know what I'm doing. Just build it." The second time, he got aggressive. "You're the foreman, not the engineer. Stay in your lane." I went to Bob. Bob gave me the "he's young, he's learning, just guide him" speech. Basically, Bob wants his nephew to succeed so he can pass the business on, and I'm supposed to be the safety net, but I'm not getting paid to be a safety net. I'm getting paid to run the floor. 2 weeks ago, we landed the Apex project. It's a massive, floating copper-clad staircase for a tech HQ downtown. Materials alone are around $40,000. Total project value is huge. It's the kind of job that makes or breaks a year. Caden did the final drawings. I looked at the cut files for the main stringer, the spine of the staircase. He had calculated the pitch wrong. He had it rising 8 inches per step. Building code is max 7.75, and for this level of luxury, you want 7. If we built it his way, it would be illegal, uncomfortable, and we'd have to scrap the entire central spine once the inspector saw it. I printed the specs. I walked into Caden's office. "Caden, the rise on the apex stringer is wrong. It's at 8 inches. Code violation. We need to re-nest the parts." He didn't even look up from his phone. I cleared it with the architect. "It's fine. It's a custom variance." "Show me the variance," I said. "Because if I cut this copper and steel, there's no welding it back together. It's a $40,000 mistake." He stood up, got right in my face, and poked me in the chest. "I am the project manager. You are the foreman. I told you to run the file. If you delay this production slot, I'm writing you up for insubordination. Bob is already asking why we're behind. Do your fucking job." I saw red. I really did. I've saved this kid's ass 10 times. I've stayed late to fix his screw-up so the guys on the floor wouldn't lose their bonuses. But the finger poke? The "do your fucking job"? I walked out. I went to my desk. I sent an email to Caden, CCing Bob, who is on vacation in Europe, sadly. Subject: Apex Stringer Confirmation. Caden, confirming per our conversation that you have approved the current cut files for the Apex project with a rise of 8 inches. I have raised concerns regarding code compliance, max 7.75, but you stated you have a variance and ordered immediate production. Proceeding based on your direct instruction. He replied 4 minutes later. Confirmed. Stop wasting time and cut it. So I did. I went to the laser cutter. I loaded the expensive architectural steel. I loaded the copper cladding sheets. I ran the program exactly as he sent it. It took 3 days to cut and fabricate the initial structure. The welders looked at me like I was crazy when they saw the pitch. I told them, project manager's orders. Follow the print exactly. Yesterday, we did the test assembly. It looked ridiculous. It was steep, awkward, and clearly illegal. This morning, the client's rep and the architect came in for the milestone inspection. Caden was beaming, standing next to the structure like he welded it himself. The architect took one look, pulled out a tape measure, and went pale. Why is the rise 8 inches? We specified 7. Caden's smile dropped. Well, there was a variance. There is no variance, the architect snapped. This is unusable. You've wasted 3 weeks and 50 grand of material. This has to be scrapped. Silence. Dead silence in the shop. The architect turned to Bob, who just got back this morning and looked jet-lagged and confused. Bob looked at Caden. And Caden pointed at me. I told him to check the numbers. He must have used the old file. Bob turned to me. His face was purple. Is this true? I didn't say a word. I just pulled out my phone and opened the email chain. But before I could show it, Caden started screaming that I'm incompetent and sabotaging him because I'm jealous. Bob held up a hand to silence me. Go to my office, Bob told me. Now. I sat there for an hour while they smoothed things over with the client. Then Bob came in. He didn't ask for my side. He didn't ask for proof. He just said, you let this happen. You knew it was wrong and you let us burn money to prove a point. That's not leadership. I was ordered to run it, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I have it in writing. I don't care about writing. Bob slammed his hand on the desk. I care that my shop just lost a fortune and looks like amateurs. You're suspended pending an investigation. Get your stuff and get out. So here I am. I just watched Caden smirking through the window as I walked to my truck. I have the emails. I have the timestamps. But I feel like I'm going to throw up. Did I go too far? Should I have just fixed it like always? Update 1, September 15th. It's been 3 days, and things have gone from bad to I need a lawyer territory. I've been sitting at home, drinking too much coffee and spiraling. I haven't heard a peep from Bob. I've texted the other guys on the floor, but nobody is replying, which is weird because usually, we have a group chat for memes and complaining about management. The silence was freaking me out. Yesterday afternoon, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. It was Rick, our lead TIG welder. Rick is 60, grumpy as hell, and the best craftsman I've ever met. He hates phones, so for him to call me meant something was up. Son, he said, his voice sounding like gravel in a blender. You need to know what they're saying in here. What are they saying, Rick? Caden is telling everyone you altered the G-code manually at the machine. He's saying he sent the right file, and you hacked the laser controller to change the dimensions so it would fail. He's trying to pin the whole material cost on you. My blood ran cold. That's insane. The machine logs will prove what file was run. That's the thing, Rick said, dropping his voice to a whisper. IT was in here last night. They were messing with the server. And Caden has been in your office on your computer. I almost dropped the phone. My computer has a password, but as the owner, Bob has the admin override. If Caden is in there, he could be deleting the local copies of the emails, the file versions, everything. Rick, did they wipe the machine history? I don't know, Rick said. But Bob called a meeting this morning. He told us that sabotage will not be tolerated and that they're bringing in a forensic guy. He looked at us like we were all suspects. The morale is dead, kid. People are scared. I thanked Rick and hung up. I immediately tried to log into my work email from my laptop at home. Account disabled. I tried to log into our cloud server where we keep the backups. Access denied. I panicked. I literally checked my phone to make sure I still had the screenshots of the email chain with Caden. I do. Thank God I took screenshots the day it happened and didn't just rely on the app. But screenshots can be faked, right? If they wipe the server logs, it's my word, and a JPEG, against the owner's nephew and the company's forensic audit. Then I realized something sickening. The variance conversation? It happened in person. The email where he said confirmed didn't explicitly repeat the numbers. It just said confirmed. Stop wasting time. If he changes the original file timestamp, he can claim he sent the correct file and I'm the one who messed it up. He can claim his confirmed email was referring to the correct file, and that I'm the one who switched it. I decided I couldn't just sit there. I drove to the shop last night around 8 p.m., thinking maybe I could catch Bob leaving and actually talk to him man to man without Caden there. I parked across the street. The lights in the office were still on. I saw Caden's BMW in the lot. And I saw a van marked Precision IT Solutions. I watched for an hour. Then I saw them come out. Caden was laughing. He was clapping the IT guy on the shoulder. They looked like buddies. I drove home feeling like I was going to have a heart attack. I didn't sleep at all last night. This morning, I got a registered letter via courier. It wasn't a firing notice. It was a legal threat. Dear, my name. We are conducting an internal investigation regarding the willful destruction of company property and gross negligence regarding the Apex project. Preliminary findings suggest tampering with fabrication data. You are hereby ordered to return all company property, including keys, laptop, and any proprietary data immediately. Legal action regarding the recovery of the $62,000 in damages is being considered. They aren't just firing me. They are trying to sue me for the cost of the mistake Caden made. I called a labor lawyer immediately. She told me to shut up, not talk to anyone at the company, and bring her everything I have. But she warned me, if they control the servers and the logs, and you're the one with the technical know-how to alter G-code, this is going to be an uphill battle. I'm terrified. I have $12,000 in savings. I can't afford a lawsuit. I can't afford to lose my reputation in this industry. It's a small world. Everyone knows everyone. If I'm branded as the guy who sabotages projects, I'll never work in this town again. I was ready to just roll over and beg for forgiveness just to make it stop, but then I got a text an hour ago. It was from Sarah, the office admin. She's quiet, keeps to herself. We've never really hung out. Text from Sarah, don't reply to this. I saw what Caden is doing. Check your personal Dropbox. I put something in there before they locked me out of your terminal. I rushed to my computer. Sarah had access to my terminal because she handles the shipping labels and sometimes needs to pull dimensions. I opened my personal Dropbox, which I use to transfer photos of finished jobs to my phone for my portfolio, technically against policy, but everyone does it. There was a folder added yesterday at 4:45 p.m. named Insurance. Inside were 3 files. 1. A screen recording. 2. An audio file. 3. A PDF of the server access logs. I clicked the screen recording first. It's grainy, taken from a cell phone hiding under a desk, pointed at the glass wall of the server room. You can see Caden and the external IT guy. They are laughing. You can't hear them well, but Caden is gesturing at the screen. The IT guy types something. Caden hands him an envelope. A thick envelope. Then I open the audio file. It must have been recorded on Sarah's phone while it was in her pocket or on her desk. Voice 1, Caden, old prick thinks he can embarrass me? Just wipe the user history for Tuesday. Make it look like the login came from his terminal. Voice 2, IT guy, that leaves a ghost log, man. If they get a real expert. Voice 3, Caden, Bob isn't hiring an expert. He just wants to know who to blame so insurance covers it. Just make the timestamp match his shift. My heart is pounding so hard it hurts. I have the smoking gun. Sarah, you beautiful, terrifying genius. But now the question is, what do I do with it? If I go to Bob, will he bury it to save his nephew? If I go to the police, does this count as corporate fraud? Or do I wait for them to actually sue me and then drop the nuke? Update 2, September 28th. It's been almost 2 weeks since the insurance drop from Sarah. The silence has been deafening, but the war has officially started. First off, Sarah is a legend. I met her at a coffee shop 2 towns over. Paranoid? Maybe. But Caden is unhinged. She told me she's been documenting Caden's crap for months because he keeps making suggestive comments to her and she knew eventually he'd screw up big enough to take the company down. She wants out, but she needs this job for now. She told me, I'm not letting you take the fall for that little psychopath. I took the files to my lawyer. Her eyes practically popped out of her head when she heard the audio recording. This changes everything, she said. This isn't just wrongful termination. This is fraud, defamation, and potentially criminal tampering depending on how they file the insurance claim. She drafted a letter. Not a please hire me back letter. A scorched earth letter. We attached the audio transcript and a single frame from the video showing Caden handing the envelope to the IT guy. The letter basically said, we know what you did. We have proof of data tampering, bribery, and defamation. Retract the accusations immediately, pay a severance of 6 months, and issue a formal letter of recommendation, or we release everything to the client, the insurance provider, and the police. We sent it to Bob directly, marked confidential, for your eyes only. I waited. 2 days ago, my phone rang. It was Bob. We need to talk, he said. He sounded tired. Broken. My lawyer says I can't talk to you without her present, I said. Please, Bob said. Just come to the house. Not the shop. I need to hear the recording myself. I can't believe Caden would do this. He's family. I called my lawyer. She advised against it, said it's a trap. But I know Bob. He's a spineless people pleaser, not a criminal mastermind. If Caden is defrauding the insurance company, Bob could lose the entire business. I told her I was going, but I'd record the conversation. I drove to Bob's house yesterday. It's a nice place, paid for by the sweat of the guys in the shop. Bob was sitting at his kitchen table. He looked 10 years older. Caden wasn't there. "Play it," he said. I played the audio file on my phone. When Caden's voice said, "Bob isn't hiring an expert. He just wants to know who to blame," Bob flinched like he'd been slapped. He put his head in his hands. "I gave him everything," Bob whispered. "I paid for his degree. I gave him this job when nobody else would hire him. I thought you were just being difficult. He told me you hated him because he was young." "I hated him because he was dangerous, Bob," I said. "He cost you 60 grand and then tried to frame me for it. And you let him." Bob looked up. "I can't fire him. My sister. It would destroy the family." "Then I guess we go to court," I said, standing up. "And the insurance company finds out you're filing a fraudulent claim based on falsified server logs." Bob panicked. No police. No insurance fraud. "Look, I'll pay the damages out of pocket. We won't file the claim." "And the defamation?" I asked. "You told the whole shop I was a saboteur." "I'll fix it," Bob pleaded. "I'll tell them it was a software glitch. A corruption in the file transfer. We'll clear your name. You can come back. Full pay. I'll give you a raise. 10%. I almost laughed. "Come back? To work for Caden? Are you insane?" "I'll move him," Bob said. "I'll put him in sales. He won't touch the production floor. You'll answer only to me. Please. The Apex project. We're 3 weeks behind. The architects are threatening to pull the contract. Nobody else knows how to program the 5-axis for the replacement parts. If you don't come back, we lose the contract. If we lose the contract, I might have to lay off half the shop." That hit me hard. I hate Caden. I'm furious at Bob. But Rick? The other welders? The guys in the paint booth? They have mortgages. Kids. If the Apex job falls through, the reputation hit could sink the company. "I need to think about it," I said. "Take 24 hours, Bob said. "Please." I left his house feeling conflicting emotions. On one hand, screw them. I should take the settlement and run. On the other hand, if I go back, I have Bob by the balls. I can demand whatever I want. And I can protect the guys from Caden. I went home and talked it over with my wife. She thinks I'm crazy for even considering it. She says, "They showed you who they are. Believe them." But this morning, I got a text from Rick. "Rick, rumor is Caden is firing the finishing crew today because the copper patina isn't looking right. He's on a rampage. We need you, man." I decided. I'm going back. But not on Bob's terms. I spent the morning drafting a contract with my lawyer. It's brutal. 1. 25% raise. 2. Title change to Director of Operations. 3. Caden is barred from the shop floor. He is not allowed to speak to me or my team. All his requests must go through me in writing. 4. An ironclad severance package. If they fire me for any reason in the next 2 years, I get a full year's salary. 5. A formal written apology read to the staff, admitting the error was management side, not operator error. I sent the document to Bob an hour ago. I'm currently waiting for the phone to ring. I honestly don't know if he'll sign it. Caden is going to lose his mind if he does. Update 3, September 29th, the return. Bob signed it. He didn't even negotiate. He sent it back with his digital signature within 20 minutes. The desperation must be real. I walked into the shop this morning at 7 a.m. The atmosphere was like a funeral. Nobody was working. They were all standing in clusters, whispering. Caden was in the main office, shouting at someone on the phone. I swiped my badge. It beeped green. Access restored. I walked onto the floor. Rick saw me first. He dropped the grinder he was holding. "No shit," he muttered. I walked straight to the foreman's podium. I hit the button for the shop-wide PA system. "Morning everyone," I said. My voice echoed through the massive warehouse. "Please gather at the main assembly table for a brief meeting. 5 minutes." I saw Caden's head snap up through the glass window of the office. He dropped his phone. He came storming out of the office, his face beet red. He looked like he hadn't slept in a week. "What the hell are you doing here?" he screamed, marching down the metal stairs. "Security! Get this trespasser out of here." I didn't move. I just stood there, arms crossed, waiting. The guys gathered around, looking between me and Caden like it was a gladiator match. I said, "Get out," Caden yelled, getting in my face again. "You're fired. You're a liability." "Actually," a voice said from the stairs. It was Bob. He had come out of his office behind Caden. He looked like a ghost, but he was holding a piece of paper. "Caden, step back," Bob said. "Uncle Bob, call the cops. He's back." "I rehired him," Bob said. The shop went silent. You could hear the hum of the ventilation fans. "You? What?" Caden's voice cracked. "Read the letter, Bob," I said. I wasn't going to let him off the hook. Bob took a deep breath. He looked at the floor, then at the guys. There was a misunderstanding regarding the Apex errors. An internal investigation revealed that the cut files were indeed incorrect due to a management oversight, not operator tampering. My name was not at fault. He has been reinstated as Director of Operations with full authority over the production floor. Caden looked like he'd been shot. "Management oversight? You're blaming me?" "The production floor is now off limits to non-operations personnel," Bob continued, reading from the script my lawyer wrote. "All project managers will submit requests via the new intake system. Caden, please come to my office." Caden looked at me. Pure, unadulterated hatred. If looks could kill, I'd be a pile of ash. "This is bullshit," Caden yelled. He threw his clipboard on the ground. It shattered. "You're choosing him over family? Go to my office," Bob barked. It was the first time I'd ever heard him raise his voice at the kid. Caden stormed off. I turned to the guys. They were grinning. Rick gave me a subtle nod. "All right," I said. "We have 3 weeks to do 6 weeks of work. The Apex stairs are a mess. Scrap the copper. Keep the steel structure if we can save it, but we need to cut the welds on the stringer. Rick, get the plasma torch. Let's get to work." The day was a blur. It felt good to be back, honestly. The guys were pumped. We got more done in 8 hours than they had in the last 2 weeks. But here is where it gets messy. Around 3 p.m., I went into the server room to verify the backups and make sure my insurance was secure. I ran into the IT guy, not the external hacker, but our actual internal IT support, a kid named Leo who comes in twice a week. "Hey man, glad you're back," Leo said. "Hey, weird question. Did you authorize a remote access port for an external IP address?" "No," I said. "Why?" "I was just scanning the network. Someone opened a back door into the CAD drive last night. It's bypassing the firewall." I felt a pit in my stomach. "Can you trace it?" "Yeah, it's coming from." Leo typed for a second. "It's a residential IP. Wait. It's logged in right now. User, Caden_admin. Caden was in Bob's office with Bob all morning, but he left around noon. He's at home. And he's logged into the CAD drive. What is he accessing?" I asked. Leo's face went pale. "He's not downloading files. He's running a batch script. It looks like a deletion command." "Cut the connection," I yelled. "Pull the plug." Leo scrambled and yanked the Ethernet cable from the main switch. The lights on the server rack blinked and went solid. "Did he get it?" I asked. Leo plugged a monitor directly into the console. He typed furiously for a minute. Then he looked at me, terrified. "He targeted the archive," Leo whispered. "He didn't delete the current projects. He deleted the standard parts library." My knees almost gave out. The standard parts library isn't just files. It's 6 years of my work. It's the templates for every railing, every bracket, every joint we use on 90% of our jobs. Without that library, we have to engineer every single screw and bolt from scratch. It would slow down production by 70%. It would bankrupt us in a month. "Is it gone?" I asked. "The index is gone," Leo said. "The data might still be on the drives, but the file structure is wiped. Unless we have a cold backup." "We do have a cold backup. It's on an external hard drive in the safe in Bob's office." I ran to Bob's office. I didn't knock. I burst in. "Bob, give me the backup drive. Now." Bob looked up, startled. "What? Why?" "Caden just nuked the server. He wiped the standard library from his house. We need the backup drive to restore it before the system overwrites the sectors." Bob turned white. He spun his chair around to the wall safe. He punched in the code. The door clicked open. He reached in. And his hand stopped. The safe was empty. Bob turned back to me, his mouth opening and closing like a fish. Caden has a key to the office, Bob whispered. He was in here alone while I was in the restroom before he left. We stood there in silence. The library is gone. The backup is gone. Caden has stolen or destroyed the only thing keeping this company efficient. Then my phone buzzed. It was a text from Caden. Caden, Director of Operations, huh? Good luck operating without your brain. I have the drive. If you want it back, I want $50,000 cash and a public apology saying you lied about the variance. You have 24 hours or the drive goes in the microwave. Don't tell Bob. I showed the phone to Bob. Bob is currently vomiting in his private bathroom. I am standing here staring at the text. This isn't work drama anymore. This is extortion. I have a choice to make right now. Option A, we call the police. Caden goes to jail. But he probably destroys the drive before they catch him, and the company dies. Option B, we pay him. The company survives, but this little monster wins. Option C. I just remembered something. 3 years ago, I took a work from home week when I had COVID. I copied the entire library to my home desktop so I wouldn't have to deal with a slow VPN. It's 3 years out of date. It's missing the new high-tech joints. But it's something. But Caden doesn't know I have it. And Bob doesn't know I have it. I looked at Bob, wiping his mouth in the doorway, looking at me with pathetic hope. What do we do? He asked. I turned off my phone screen. Call the police, Bob, I said. And tell them your nephew just committed felony extortion. But the drive. Bob wailed. The company. I haven't told him about my old backup yet. Because right now, watching Bob sweat and Caden dig his own grave feels more important than the standard parts library. But here's the cliffhanger, I'm driving to Caden's apartment. I'm not going to pay him. And I'm not waiting for the cops. I know where he lives, I know he's a coward, and I'm done playing games. I'm going to get that drive back myself. I just pulled up to his building. His BMW is here. I'll update you on the other side. Assuming I don't end up in jail tonight. Hi there, if you made it so far. Consider dropping a like and maybe subscribing. Thanks. And have a nice one.